Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, your reaction to this exchange that you just saw with the president and George Stephanopoulos, where the president says he'd take the call, he'd take the information, probably wouldn't call the FBI, and his FBI director is wrong in saying he should.
Well, my reaction is much the way it is often these days, which is stunning on the one hand and not at all surprising on the other. Donald Trump has made it clear that he will engage in any action, no matter how unethical or unpatriotic, that he will go right up to the line of what's legal, and indeed it looks like he crossed that line many times. So no, on the heels of Rudy Giuliani saying that he was off to Ukraine to see if he could get that foreign power to investigate a family member of one of the president's political rivals, on the heels of Jared Kushner refusing to rule out getting foreign help or whether he'd call the FBI. It's not surprising, but it is stunning, and it does tell us we're going to have to legislate. One of the conclusions Mueller was not able to reach, one of the elements of the conspiracy he wasn't able to prove with respect to Jared Kushner and the others getting dirt from the Russians, was that getting dirt in that context was something of value that should have been reported. So we're going to have to legislate that, yes, you've got to report foreign contacts, and when you receive foreign help like that, it's a campaign contribution.
So what you're saying is Mueller, as Evan's pointing out, obviously Mueller's saying it is a thing of value. You're going to put forward, or are you going to put forward, that should be a law, so that then it would be clear that what was laid out in the Mueller report was indeed a criminal violation?
I think it's going to be absolutely necessary both to require disclosure of those kind of foreign contacts, particularly with a hostile foreign power, but also to make it clear in terms of campaign law that if you get opposition research from a foreign government, that's something of value that needs to be reported to deter the kind of unethical, unpatriotic conduct that the president engaged in the last campaign and apparently is completely willing to do all over again. He's learned absolute nothing. Just
to be clear, when George said, well, Al Gore got the stolen briefing book, right, and reported it, the president said, well, this is different. This was just information. So he's basically saying, well, the information that we could have thought could have gone into a briefing book, would have been that quality. It's different because it wasn't already in the book. That's the argument he's making?
Well, the fact is, this was stolen too. This was data stolen from the Clinton campaign. So whether it's in a briefing book or it's stolen through a cyber attack, that obviously makes no difference whatsoever. The president's argument doesn't hold up. And what's more, not only Christopher Wray disagrees with him, we had a hearing today with FBI agents, a former assistant U.S. attorney that was the Republican-chosen witness, a Fox News contributor, and he too said they should have called the FBI. Anyone getting an overture by a foreign power during a presidential campaign should call the FBI.
I saw that, and I wonder now what this means for Christopher Wray, who no doubt wants to do the right thing and try to keep stability and calm at the FBI. What's he supposed to do right now? Does he just sit there and try to ignore it and hope that this goes away?
Well, I think that he has managed to walk that fine line very carefully of staying out of the public, line of sight when he's differing with the president, unless it's absolutely necessary. When he's asked a direct question, like he was, he's going to give a direct answer whether the president likes it or not, but he's going to do everything he can to avoid putting himself in the position of getting into a brawl with the president, because he views his mission as looking after the men and women at the Bureau, making sure the mission of the Bureau gets done, and avoiding unnecessary friction with the White House.
So where the president's going to try to take a leg to stand on this is to say that this was opposition research, right? If I could have gotten it from anyone, I got it from, happened to get it from a hostile foreign power. And, oh, you guys, meaning you, Chairman, do it all the time. Here's what he said.
You go and talk honestly to congressmen. They all do it. They always have. And that's the way it is. It's called Oppo Research.
What's your response to that?
That's pure nonsense. In fact, this point also came up in the committee today when one of our members pointed out that not a single member of the House of Representatives goes either soliciting foreign assistance in their campaign, or I think if it were offered to them would go and not report it. I sure as heck hope that all my colleagues would do that. So the president's completely out of line, but this is typical for Donald Trump, which is he projects onto others his own lack of morality. If he wouldn't call the FBI, he assumes no one would. If he is deceptive about something, he assumes everyone is. If he is willing to do the unpatriotic thing and go to a foreign power for help, he assumes everyone will do the unethical thing. But that's just not the case, and God help us if it ever becomes that way.
Chairman Schiff, thank you.
Thank you.